Some mysteries fade with time, others only grow louder in their silence. Dublin, December 2000. Christmas lights flicker against rain-slicked streets. Inside the pubs, the air is warm with laughter and the hum of late-night celebrations. Outside, the storm is howling. Winds batter the city at nearly 70 miles per hour. Somewhere in that chaos, a 20-year-old man named Trevor Deely is making his way home after his work's Christmas party. He will never arrive. Just before 4 a.m., Trevor stops at his office to grab an umbrella and talk briefly with a colleague. Security cameras catch him at the gates, and in that frame, something unsettling. A man dressed head to toe in black, waiting outside for over half an hour before Trevor arrives. They exchange a few words. But who was he? Why was he there? And why, to this day, had no one been able to identify him? Moments later, Trevor walks away into the storm. 90 seconds behind him, another CCTV camera captures a couple walking the same route. Who were they? Did they see him? Did they see anybody else? Or did their presence have nothing to do with what was about to happen? In the 25 years since that night, theories have swirled. Accident, chance encounter, targeted attack. Police have chased leads from the quiet suburbs of Dublin to the frozen streets of Alaska. Some details have been explained, others remain out of reach. In this episode of Echoes of the Unknown, we'll walk Trevor's last known path, piece together the investigation, and look at the possibilities that still haunt this case. Because the truth is out there somewhere, and maybe, just maybe, it's hiding in plain sight. Welcome to Echoes of the Unknown, where we dive deep into the mysteries, the unexplained, and the unbelievable. From strange disappearances to chilling true crime, we uncover the stories that leave more questions than answers. If you love exploring the dark corners of reality, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you'll never miss an episode. The unknown is calling. Are you ready to listen? Thursday, 7th of December 2000. Trevor Deely's work Christmas party. Celebrations begin with drinks at Copper-Faced Jack's, then the Hilton Hotel. Before the group moves on to Black Whaley's nightclub on Lower Leeson Street. By 3:25 a.m., Trevor decides it's time to head home. His flat is in the Renoir complex on Serpentine Avenue in Ballsbridge, about a 30-minute walk. Normally, he may have taken a taxi, but that night, a citywide taxi strike left the streets bare. After that, a fierce winter storm with winds gusting at nearly 70 miles per hour. Trevor faced a long, wet walk through the heart of Dublin. About 10 minutes after leaving the club, Trevor detours to his office on Leeson Street, the Bank of Ireland Asset Management building, to collect an umbrella and check on a few things for work the next morning. It's here that the first strange detail emerges. Outside the building gates, security cameras show a man dressed entirely in black. Investigators later discover he's been standing there for over 30 minutes before Trevor arrived. Who waits outside a closed office in the dead of night in a storm like that? And why? For what reason? The two exchange a brief few words before Trevor is buzzed in by the night guard. The man in black remains outside. Inside, Trevor chats with his colleague, Carl Pender, makes a cup of tea, checks his emails, and scribbles a few work notes. He's in no rush, seemingly calm. At 4:03 a.m., umbrella in hand, Trevor steps back into the storm. The man in black is now gone. Minutes later, Trevor calls his friend Glenn in Naas and leaves a voicemail. Hi Glenn, I've missed you there. Just on my way home, all going good. I'll talk to you tomorrow. CCTV then picks him up at 4:14 a.m. outside an AIB bank on the corner of Bagot Street Bridge and Haddington Road. He's walking steadily, alone, heading in the direction of his apartment. This is the last confirmed image of Trevor alive. 90 seconds later, another camera captures a couple walking the same path. Investigators have never publicly identified them. Were they simply two late-night pedestrians? Could they have seen something crucial? Did they cross paths with Trevor? Perhaps with somebody following him? Guard Eye initially believed a second man in black seen in the Haddington Road footage might be the same individual Trevor had spoken to outside his office. But years later, enhanced analysis revealed the man had no connection to Trevor and was not the figure who'd been waiting at the gates. By dawn, Trevor is gone. No one knows where he went, what happened, or who he may have met in those final, unrecorded moments. The trail and the night goes silent. When Trevor didn't turn up for work on Friday morning, nobody panicked. After all, it had been a late night. Maybe he'd overslept or taken the day off. His flatmates were away for the weekend. They didn't notice anything either. It wasn't until Monday, 3 days later, that alarm bells began to ring. Trevor had missed work entirely. Friends hadn't heard from him. Calls went unanswered. The Bank of Ireland contacted his family in Nars. A chilling realization set in. Trevor was missing. From that moment, his family and friends launched a search effort so determined that even seasoned detectives remarked on it. Hundreds of posters went up across Dublin. Thousands of leaflets were handed out. Volunteers went door to door, speaking to shopkeepers, night workers, anybody who may have seen a young man with an umbrella in the early hours of December 8th. Guard Eye revealed CCTV footage across the city. Key images of Trevor outside his office, speaking to the man in black and later passing the AIB bank, became the central timeline. But there was a problem. The delay in reporting him meant that any potential witnesses from that night had already drifted away. Crucial physical evidence could have been lost. Search teams scoured the River Dodder and the Grand Canal, even deploying the Garda Sub-Aqua unit, but there was nothing. No clothing, no phone, no sign of Trevor. Draining the Grand Canal basin was considered, but engineers warned it could damage nearby buildings. Investigators followed every lead they could find. Two Guard Eye flew to Alaska to speak to a woman Trevor had visited just weeks before, a trip he'd taken on a friend's airline staff discount. His sisters later made the same journey. None of these conversations brought the case any closer to resolution. Over the years, small developments surfaced. In 2010, a renewed public appeal brought a fresh wave of tips. In 2015, a documentary by Donald McIntyre aired, pushing Trevor's story back into the headlines. Then, in late 2016, Guard Eye reopened the investigation with new resources and technology. In April 2017, enhanced CCTV analysis led investigators to believe the man walking behind Trevor on Haddington Road was the same one he'd spoken to outside his office. An €100,000 reward was announced for information. Months later, the tip led the Guard Eye to search a 3-acre wooded site in Chapelsload, linked to a Dublin criminal gang. Guns and drugs were recovered, but no trace of Trevor. Even in December 2023, advances in digital enhancement brought some clarity. The man seen trailing Trevor on Haddington Road was traced, interviewed, and cleared. He was not the man in black from the office footage. Which brings us back to the central unanswered question. Who was that man? And what role, if any, did he play in Trevor's disappearance? For nearly 25 years, the investigation has circled these same questions without ever breaking the loop. When it comes to the disappearance of Trevor Deely, the facts are painfully limited. Short timeline, a few minutes of CCTV footage, a couple of phone calls. And yet, in that vacuum, theories have flourished. Each one tries to explain the unexplainable, but none have ever been proven. Number one is the accident theory. It's perhaps the most simple, some the most tragic. It was a brutal night. Heavy rain, hurricane-force gusts of wind, streets slick with water and hardly a soul around due to the taxi strike. Trevor was walking alone, carrying an umbrella that might have acted like a sail in the wind. Could a strong gust have pushed him off balance into the River Dodder or the Grand Canal? Search teams combed those waters, even using specialist divers, but no trace was ever found. If he had fallen in, would the storm and currents have made recovery impossible? Or does the lack of evidence point to something else entirely? Then there's foul play, a theory that draws the most public fascination. That man in black, waiting outside Trevor's office for more than 30 minutes in the pouring rain, has never been identified. Who waits outside a closed building in the middle of the night, unless they have a reason? Was he there for Trevor specifically? Did he follow him in after their brief conversation, and if so, why? Was Trevor attacked for something as simple as his phone, wallet, or even mistaken identity? Or was there something more targeted about this encounter? Closely tied to this is the chance encounter theory, which suggests Trevor's fate was a result of crossing paths with the wrong person at the wrong time. In 2017, an informant claimed Trevor was murdered by a Dublin criminal linked to drugs and prostitution in the area. The story went that Trevor had never met this man before, their encounter being pure coincidence, but deadly. The Red Guard Eye searched a secluded site where firearms and drugs were found, but none of it was connected to Trevor. Was this tip-off genuine, or distraction from the truth? There's also the matter of the couple on CCTV walking 90 seconds behind Trevor on Haddington Road. Investigators never publicly identified them. Were they potential witnesses who simply never realized the importance of what they saw? Could they have spotted someone else on the street, perhaps lingering in the shadows or following at a distance? Or were they just two strangers out late, entirely unconnected to the case? The mistaken identity theory is a less discussed possibility, that Trevor may have resembled someone else involved in a dispute, a criminal matter, or even a personal grudge. The man in black was waiting for someone else. Could Trevor's arrival have set off a chain of events neither of them anticipated? And finally, we have the modern forensics angle. Technology has transformed since 2000. CCTV, that once seems blurry beyond recognition, can now be enhanced to reveal sharper details. Artificial intelligence can compare facial features, map walking patterns, and even reconstruct low-light footage. Could re-examining every second of video, frame by frame, reveal something overlooked all these years? Could advanced cell tower analysis of GPS reconstruction place Trevor, or the man in black, in a more precise location? Each theory circles back to the same haunting gap, the final minutes of Trevor's walk. With the AIB camera at 4:14 a.m., the point where he could have reached his apartment, the trail goes cold. Did he make it close to home before something happened? Was he intercepted earlier? The truth is, each theory has its appeal. Each could fit the known facts, and each collapses under the weight of what we don't know. That's the problem with a case like this. The silence is louder than the evidence. And until something new emerges, we're left with shadows, speculation, and questions. It's been more than 2 decades since Trevor Deely vanished into the Dublin night. A young man full of plans, ambitions, and friendships, simply gone. No confirmed sightings, no physical evidence, just a handful of CCTV frames, a missing persons file, and a family still waiting for answers. In missing persons cases, time is often the enemy. Leads fade, memories blur, witnesses move on. In Trevor's case, time has also been a cruel trickster, giving the illusion that truth is just out of reach. Every few years, a new tip surfaces, a new search is launched, a fresh angle is examined, and yet the outcome is always the same. Nothing concrete. We often look for meaning in tragedies like this. Was it fate? Chance? Or the result of one wrong turn, one unlucky encounter? The truth is, we may never know. But what makes Trevor's disappearance so haunting is how ordinary the night seemed. He wasn't walking through a dangerous part of the city. He wasn't meeting strangers from the internet. He was heading home from his work Christmas party, something thousands of people do every year without incident. That normality is what makes it so chilling. And then there's the man in black, a figure who, without context, could be entirely innocent, or the key to the entire mystery. If he was harmless, why has he never come forward? If he wasn't, how did he manage to commit an act that left virtually no trace? Even in the age of cameras, mobile phones, and city lights, it's possible to slip between the cracks. And maybe that's just what happened here. For Trevor's family, the years have been a test of endurance no one should have to face. His parents, Michael and Anne, his siblings, his friends, they've spoken openly about the pain of not knowing. There's a unique cruelty to ambiguous loss, when there's no proof of life, but no proof of death either. You can't properly grieve, but you can't properly hope. You're trapped in a limbo that just doesn't end. Public interest in Trevor's case remains high, not just in Ireland, but among true crime communities worldwide. People analyse the CCTV frame by frame. They pore over weather records, topography maps, and crime reports from the time. And yet for all that collective effort, the mystery holds firm. Sometimes it feels as if the night itself swallowed Trevor whole. There is still a chance, however slim, that somebody knows something they just haven't shared. Maybe they were young and afraid back then. Maybe they thought what they saw wasn't important. Maybe they were protecting somebody else. Memories have a way of resurfacing, and loyalties can shift over time. Even a small detail, a face remembered, a comment overheard, will break this case wide open. And so we're left with a question that has echoed for nearly 25 years. Where is Trevor Deely? Was his disappearance the result of a tragic accident, a random act of violence, or something more calculated? Until we know for certain, Dublin's rain-soaked streets keep their secret. What do you think happened in this case? Do you think Trevor's still out there? What do you think about the man in black? If you're watching this and you have information, no matter how minor it may seem, please contact the Garda or Crime Stoppers, for Trevor's family, for his friends, and for a city still haunted by that December night. It's time for the silence to end. Thanks for watching Echoes of the Unknown. If you found this case as fascinating as we did, give the video a like and share your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to hear your theories. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell so you never miss our deep dives into the world's most puzzling mysteries. Until next time, stay curious, stay cautious, and above all, keep listening for the echoes.